everyone. I'm coming to you from Hyde Park in Chicago, a great Southside neighborhood. So if you're ever here, you must visit. Right now I'm on 53rd Street, drinking my Phil's coffee. Turkish coffee, I love it. They put like a mint leaf in there. Anyways, I want to talk about a book I read called Binge Again by Livingston, PhD. My boyfriend bought it for me as a gift. Now, he's been sober from alcohol for about a year. In fact, one of the reasons we started dating is he knew I did not drink. Okay? I made it very clear, I don't drink at all. And for some people, this is the reason why they didn't date me, but for him, it was a plus. And he was open and honest right away that he was a former alcoholic. And it took me a while to let him know that I had a binge eating disorder, and I just revealed it to him a month ago. While I have been binge-free for almost 7 months, my path has been questioned by well-meaning people. Upon reading this book, I realized I was already implementing Dr. Livingston's tips to never binge again. This book helped me realize I was not wrong, and I should feel confident in how I was proceeding. Fair warning, Dr. Livingston does use the term pig in this book. Pig referring to your animalistic brain. I am not a sensitive snowflake, nor a millennial. Okay, sorry millennials, don't be sensitive. I am Gen X, and I am former military, U.S. Army. I do prefer this straight up talk, not covered in niceties. One thing I love about this book is his talk about the categories never, conditional, and always. No matter what one eats or a diet plan one follows, each of us can make it work by having these rules. I prefer to use these categories instead of saying I restrict these foods. And I always felt that me restricting, which I won't use again, I won't use that term, actually gave me some freedom, which he actually mentions at the end of his book, and I'll explain a little bit about that. I was given advice when I told someone I was carnivore keto that this restriction is going to lead to binges, right? And initially, restriction did. I wasn't carnivore keto at the time. I was prepping for a bikini competition, eating low-cal, low-fat. And if that works for you, that works for you, but for me, it did not. And before this bikini competition, I was able to eat 3 times a day. I didn't snack, I didn't eat at night. I was fine. After the bikini competition, I couldn't go back. During the bikini comp prep, I was eating 6 times a day. And my body was trained after that bikini comp to now eat 6 times a day. And it was very hard to go back to how I ate before. And moderation no longer worked for me. So initially, the restriction did actually wake up my inner pig. I didn't know I had it, it was there, but after the bikini competition, it awoke. And this is about 10 years ago, so I've been dealing with binge eating for almost 10 years. So yes, restriction did lead to the pig being released, but moderation was not the cure for me either. So let me talk about one part of the book. He talks about a simple set of guidelines for constructing a food plan. Again, he goes into the never, always, unrestricted, forgot to mention that, and conditionals. For nevers, it's what food, drinks, and behaviors will you never indulge in again as long as you live. So let me give you an example of something I will never do because moderation did not work for me. The last time I binged was in February, and I have always loved cupcakes and cakes. And I decided, you know what? I have lost all this weight, and I am going to maybe have one cupcake, once a week. So I found this woman in Dalton, Illinois, who used to supply cupcakes and cakes to Walgreens. But they stopped supplying her cupcakes and cakes, but I loved them so much I tracked her down. Okay, I tracked her down on Facebook. Found out her bakery had burnt down, and now she cooks out of one of those kitchens, commercial kitchens, and she actually sells her cupcakes throughout Chicagoland. And she actually has certain pickup places for people like me who were addicted to her cupcakes and cakes. They're really good, but it's in my never category right now. So I went to Dalton all the way from Hyde Park. I took a metro out to Homewood. Then, at Homewood, I proceeded to take an Uber to Dalton to pick up my cupcakes. I can remember correctly, they came in a pack of 4. I bought 2 packs, so I had 8 cupcakes. I was going to have maybe one, I had planned one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, each week. I took one bite. It was Saturday. That was my Saturday cupcake in the cab. By the time I got home, they were all gone. When I arrived home, realizing what I had done, I went out to a store and I bought a whole cake. Huge cake, one that would feed maybe 18 to 24 people. And I ate it. And I had lost all this weight. I was feeling good. I had I felt horrific at the time. Unlike my past binges though, this one lasted about 3 days and then I stopped. Usually it will last longer. And I put my pig back in the cage and I said, never again will I binge. And I looked at it as a way to redo my food plan. What was I doing that could improve my chances of never binging again? And I saw that I was eating a lot of, and I was keto at the time, I went keto, lost all that weight. I was eating lots of keto fat bombs, keto approved sweets, cookies. That led me to craving the actual thing. So what I did is I also added those to the never category. I am never going to eat keto approved sweets either. And 7 months later, binge free, never binging again. I also like how he put down that you have to 100% commit. And I like the examples that you put down about being 100% committed to your marriage. Would you say, I'm only going to be 99% committed? No, you would say, what? I'm going to be 100% committed. So that is the kind of commitment I give to this never binging again. I will never commit. And sure, some people might say, oh, well, you're restricting sweets and candies. But sure, you know what? Well, it's in my never category, not restricted category, never. But there is nothing freeing about eating all of that stuff and then lying on the floor, holding your stomach because it is so full, or stuffing yourself so much that there is no more room in your stomach or your esophagus, and you start to vomit. That doesn't feel free. You feel enslaved to that sugar, to all that processed food. I felt trapped, and then I would have to repeat the cycle of over-exercising, and my exercise of choice was cardio. One of the reasons why I don't do cardio, I have my own exercise plan that I enjoy, and I don't use it for that, because I'm never going to binge again, and that's all I need to do is never binge again. Having certain rules to live by is actually freeing. He talks about that and having discipline. Discipline is also freeing as well. I can think about one right now. I train Olympic lifting and kettlebell sport. I love both of those, and it takes commitment to be in the gym. I see my Olympic lifting coach who coaches out of B&W Gym in Edgewater. I live in Hyde Park, and if anyone is from Chicago, you know how far that is. The neighborhoods are far apart. I don't have a car, so I get up in the morning at 4:15. From Hyde Park, I take my bus downtown, then I transfer to the Red Line, go to the Red Line to the north side, take another bus to go west to the gym at B&W to train with him, and I love it. I'm improving day by day in Olympic lifting, and it shows. I've also been doing kettlebell sports since 2014, and got into it more seriously in 2015. And my physique shows. I don't do it for weight loss. No. I do it because I enjoy it. I love being strong, and it helps with muscular development. I like looking jacked. I'm not gonna lie. I like the aesthetics. But the discipline that requires also gives me freedom to wear cute little tops like this. Okay? I have this other freedom to wear whatever the heck I want, and I'm 43. Yeah, you know what? I live in Hyde Park, home of University of Chicago. There's some really nice thrift stores here, and usually towards the end of the semester, these college girls will unload their cute clothes, and I can still fit in clothes that college girls wear. So I'm buying that stuff, and it's freeing to be able to have those choices. But it does require discipline on my part. And how about this for a lack of discipline? I'm in Vegas, and I tell myself I have $400 to spend on gambling, no more. Came back from Vegas, I was negative, I was in debt, okay? And that was my pig telling me there. Go ahead, spend that money, you're gonna win. And I didn't, okay, I did not. I came back not able to pay a couple bills. That may have felt freeing then to do whatever I wanted in Vegas. Well, you do in Vegas stays in Vegas. No, sometimes we'll follow you. And that debt followed me back to Chicago. And because of that freedom in Vegas and that non-restriction of spending whatever I wanted in Vegas, I ended up having to do a lot of overtime, which stole my freedom here away in Chicago, because then I couldn't go out and do things because I had to work overtime, extra shifts to make up for what I did. So, lesson learned, sometimes rules and discipline actually are freeing, and there is nothing more freeing to me now than following the way I eat, following my way of eating, my diet tribe. I'm carnivore keto, and that's not for everyone, but it's freeing for me because I'm no longer enslaved to the kind of food I was on that made me overeat and made me vomit, made me over-exercise, and just feel miserable. I just feel more like I have more opportunities to do things outside of food. In the book, he talks about an example of how we can go past a bank and we don't have to think about, hey, I'm not going to rob a bank today. It's automatic. You're not going to rob a bank. That little snippet made me think of a time when I was about 4 or 5, and I was at the store with my mom, and I stole a couple suckers. When my mom found out, she said, you can never steal again. That's a rule. And you know what this rule does? It prevents me from thinking stealing is okay and eventually going to prison. Right? Can you imagine if my mom told me, you know what, go ahead, steal. Eventually I'd go to juvie. Or like the big house. Yeah, so me being able to do whatever I wanted because my inner pig said, yeah, hey, go steal, go rob. Being able to cage that pig and saying, no, I will never rob, I will never steal again, gives me freedom to be in Hyde Park drinking Bill's coffee. It's the same thing with my food plan. Um, Now, the food plan I have is specific to me. Um, Keto has actually really helped me lose weight, um, and it has helped me with deal with cravings, and it has helped me to stop binging. But I know that this isn't for everyone. I'm also on it for other health reasons, because within those 10 years, there were other things besides binging. I had some other health problems that this way of eating has helped me with. Okay? And so don't think just because I'm mentioning carnivore keto that you think you would have to do it too. No, because with this book, Never Binge Again, you can implement your own nevers, always, conditionals. I'm sure I'm forgetting a category, but and you can make it work for you and the way you eat. So I highly suggest getting this book and following the tips and tricks in this to never binge again.